All right, so welcome everybody back to the Shades of Dominion. First and foremost, I've had some technical difficulties, and I really hate those. First, it was something with my camera that I had to get a new camera. We got that fixed up, but then I started hitting issues with my headset, and the mic wasn't working. It wasn't coming together, and I kind of patched that using my uh, Bluetooth for my phone headset. Problem with that is, uh, I don't know if it's going to charge when I put it in the little charger case. It's a crapshoot as to whether or not the connectors actually charge the damn Bluetooth. So, new headset with a cord charge that I can link up to the headset directly. So there's no question if it's connected and charging. Crisis averted for now. So, welcome back to the Shades of Dominion. This is your woke free RPG where the fans can enjoy creating player characters loosely based on their Magic the Gathering card game deck. Every player in this game is a powerful spellcaster that harnesses the life force of worlds. The game is ready and available in the links below. Before we begin, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Go hit the buttons and share the links. We will get down to today's business. And today's business is, of course, um, some errata. We're switching up some of the spells. We're updating um, some of the basic spell templates. And the reason we're going through this is because as we were beta testing, I started to realize that there were some combinations that players would instinctively avoid. And it's not that there's and the reason they would avoid them is because there's no benefit to them. So we're going to do a little bit of trimming the fat, as it were, and we're going to go and find. I'm going to show you some of the things that have been updated to make sure that things that were once very complicated, very obtuse, have been kind of slimmed down and streamlined into something that is more advantageous, so something that you can actually combo well with. So we're gonna bring up the rule book here, and I'm gonna show you some of the things that we've changed. The ambition uh, template hasn't changed much. Going through up in the Aether. Oh my gosh, we can do this. We changed the invisibility spell to be a little more elaborate, something that's a little more understandable. We clarified that attacks made against an invisible target cannot be counterattacked, and the defender suffer a 10, -10 penalty to attacks made by an invisible target. Basically, you can't see them, ergo, you're going to be unable to respond to them effectively. And after that, we're going to go all the way down to corruption. And we're going to go to the darkness. Now, we used to have one that was called, and this was a shade summon, and it was called the something or another, and now it's called the Shadow Symbiote. And what this used to do is it used to um, become a kind of like an aspect, kind of like a feat, an extra boon. And what it does instead is and you would also have to exhaust a spell. Took that away completely because it's too much, and I feel like we can ratchet up the power levels to make things a little more copacetic across all of the dominions. Um, because as I said, the process I went through this was to make sure that we were using the law of common, and the most powerful effects we had were for common cards for one mana cost. And there are certain things that you can do without, or things that you can kind of just incorporate into the cost rather than have everything. So this original spell was uh, pay a corruption, one other, exhaust this creature, and you would discard a card from your hand, or in the Shades of Dominion, this is exhausting a spell in your library. We removed that last one. We removed the last one, and as long as this creature remains exhausted in this way, it melds itself to you and grants you a +1 damage, and it gives you fright and initiative, which initiative is first strike, and fright is a new mechanic that's basically fear. You're unblockable unless the opponent can has another buddy to counteract you with. Unless they're tag teaming you, they're going to take stress counters for engaging you in combat. So that's something that I thought was something that needed to be a little more streamlined. So we have the Shadow Symbiote, which is something that's been upgraded and improved. So there is that. And lastly, we beefed up one of the nature attributes creature spells called, and I renamed this Nature's Vessel. And what it allows a nature mage to do is to summon a creature that transforms their shade vessel into an elemental shade summon that has the power and toughness of all the remaining SIP levels of the shade vessel. Pretty cool. I thought that was more on theme with the nature attribute, and it will enable them to stack on a whole bunch of other combinations. And the reason we're doing this is because I'm going to be making um, starter characters for the game, so everyone has these starter characters they can immediately pick up and just be able to play with. And so I made Nature's Vessel available um, because it's going to be in combination with two other uh, two other shade summon templates that are going to make this a very beefy creature. So you have Nature's Vessel. In fact, let's do this real quick. Let me add a little imagery here. Dun-dun-dun. Existing. Oh, let me change that real quick. Uh, yes, look at that for a minute. Um, dun-dun-dun. Oh, cancel. Okay, so we're going to talk about this. Let's put this over here. We can move this way. No. Okay. So I'm going to show you one of the shade summons that we're going to make um for one of the upcoming characters. Just real quick. So we're going to have I don't know the Vitality Shade Mage champion. Now champions are a combination of at least three shade summon templates because they have 3 wounds, as opposed to any other shade summon which just has 1. That's what makes them different. So, Shade Mage Champion. So we're gonna have going back over here. We're gonna show you Nature's Vessel. So putting that back on. Okay, so shade cost for now is just gonna be V. Effect. Comes Elemental coming. And you'll see why I'm separating them like this in a little bit. And ultimately, it's going to have 3 wounds, so don't trip about that. And the spell battery is going to be technically 3+ at the end of all of that's said and done. So in this P, we're going to have remaining sip levels. And we're going to have remaining sip levels. Okay. All right. So that's nature's vessel. Now we're going to go up to growth to get the other two um, templates. All right. And here's the last two. It's a vitality elemental. So actually, no, let's do crazy kudzu first. So V and V, where Shade Summon with power 0, toughness X, and wounds 1, where X equals the amount of vitality shade you currently possess. So toughness also equals vitality shade. And the last one is going to be V plus X. And because this Shade Mage is going to be a Dominion 5, which means they have a Shade capacity of 5. So X cannot be greater than 2, is essentially what that means, because you already have 3 Shade taken up for the spell, and this X cannot be greater than 2. But because X is always 0 when you're counting spell cost, it's a 3+ spell. So, and plus X. 2, and then plus. So this is going to be the shade, the shade summon champion, the champion. Now, what makes champions different from regular shade summons is champions don't automatically disapparate out of combat. They stay on the field with you as kind of like a golem or a champion or an avatar of sorts. So having a champion is kind of like having like your kind of like a pseudo pet. Um, but these are shade summons that stay in the field of play rather than most shade summons, which again after combat they just kind of disappear. So what you're gonna have, and here's the ideally the idea for this vitality uh, shade summon champion is the this shade mage has basically this little seed, and this is their shade vessel. This is how they uh, connect to the shade, and it's this shade vessel that actually turns into their champion and is their both their like elemental viney woodland avatar, and at the same time it is their shade vessel. It is their connection to the shade. And so you have this shade vessel which comes alive and becomes this mighty champion. Um, Also, it has it has pacifist, which means it's that's the Magic the Gathering term for defender. It can't attack on its own. It can deal damage, but it can't technically attack. And it has ranged, meaning it's able to shoot vines and thorns into the air, which is pretty neat. Um, as a defensive elemental beast, it will be able to do that. So that's one little glimmer into the project that I'm doing with making um, shade mages that are already put together for players to use. So I hope you liked that. I hope you thought that was pretty cool. I think it is because I'm going to be fleshing these characters out. We're going to be pumping out one for each Dominion, and starter characters are coming in, guys. So that's it, and I hope to see you soon. God bless everyone, and remember to go throw some shade. Bye bye.